Chapter 15 of The Shokan by Frederick Chambliss Wemyss. What does this tell us about America? Yes, you. Me? I see it's set in 1964. Why is 1964 significant? Significant? What happened in America in 1964? The Cuban Missile Crisis? No, that was 1962. Woodstock? No, that was in 1969. The Red Scare? No, that was the late 40s and early 50s. What does this book say about America? Nothing. Johnny's answering the question. Yeah, but it doesn't say anything about America. Johnny, do you agree with that? I don't know. Okay, Jimmy, why do you say the Shokan says nothing about America? Well, because this book is elitist. Elitist? Yeah, it masquerades as a novel about a little rural summer when it's actually about an upper-class professor on vacation and the friends who went to college with him getting drunk. What about the references to World War II? Well, it says the professor's in the middle of college when he gets drafted, so we can assume he didn't see the Army as an escape route from poverty. And if he had been poor and had joined the Army to escape poverty, this would have said something about America? Yes, it would have represented the American experience. What if he had been poor and not joined the Army? Everybody joined the Army in World War II. Everybody except this professor, it seems. He represents the upper-class experience, and that experience is not the American experience. The majority of Americans were poor in 1941. The majority of soldiers in the U.S. Army in the Second World War were drafted. There was more volunteering in that war than in any other. Excepting the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, you're probably right. Of course, Desert Storm and our current war feature armies of 100% volunteers. But this book isn't about World War II. It just has characters who were in it. What about the children in the Shokan? How do they reflect America? They don't reflect America. Why don't they reflect America? Because they're privileged. Johnny, what do you think? What do I think? How do the children in this novel reflect the American experience? I don't know. All right. In 1964, in the summer that is, America was looking forward to the November election. The president was Lyndon B. Johnson, a machine politician par excellence, who unfortunately for him was only standing in presidential shoes that summer because the president for whom he had served as vice president had been shot the previous November. You know that man. Just about 2 years before the novel takes place, the United States had had the bejesus scared out of it when it was discovered that the Soviets had installed missiles with nuclear weapons in their satellite state, a Caribbean island called Cuba. JFK, the president, that guy, the one from the video, made a speech threatening to invade Cuba if the missiles weren't removed. For 10 days, the world was bracing for a nuclear catastrophe. Translation, the end of the world, mutual assured destruction, and all that. The upshot is Khrushchev, the bald guy from the tape with the arguments with Nixon. No? You don't know that? Okay, the Soviet premier. No, not the premier of the battleship Potemkin. I've lost you, I'm certain. Russia backed down. Kennedy won the showdown. The missiles were removed. 1 year later, he was dead. A Texas politician was now president. You've heard of Texas? The nation of which the USA is a satellite state? That's a joke, sons. The Texas politician, as president, vows to carry out the policies of his martyred predecessor, even though he can't really stand these policies. Because he is steeped in backroom politicking, he is far more effective in doing what his predecessor tried to do than his predecessor actually was. Sweeping civil rights reforms are effected by this man, meaning that for the first time in American history, the votes of black citizens counted. If JFK is revered as a civil rights president, LBJ is ignored as the enforcer of civil rights reform. In any case, LBJ also pushed what he perceived to be Kennedy's desire to aid South Vietnam in his defensive war against the communist North Vietnam. You have heard of Vietnam? You've got it all wrong, Professor. JFK was beginning to pull out of Vietnam. The CIA and Johnson had him killed and went to town with Vietnam. More blacks were drafted than whites. A disproportionate number, yes. So Johnson, taking the credit for civil rights, stuck it to the blacks, actually. Johnson is the head in the hands president. What? He is a cipher. What? Anyway, class, what does the Shokan say about America? Hey, is this on the test?